It's Our Story. Colleen Starkloff, St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh yeah, I remember one. Very specifically, one time I had my daughter. My oldest daughter was about 5 years old, and we were going into a grocery store. And we did have disabled parking at that time, so it probably was around 1985 because she was 5. And the laws were still fairly new for disabled parking, but there was a disabled parking space that was near the entrance to this grocery store. So I had parked several cars away, and I had my little daughter's hand in mine, and I was walking toward the grocery store. Well, a car pulls in, a sedan pulls into disabled parking, and 4 adults get out, 2 couples. And right away, this one guy starts limping, this very exaggerated kind of a limp. And, you know, I'm a physical therapist. I knew this was baloney. And he was laughing, and his friends who were with him, I mean, these people had to be in their mid-30s at least. And they were laughing, and the one guy was poking at how the other guy was mimicking being disabled. And it really irritated me. And so I went up to the person and I said, "Excuse me, are you aware that you're parked in a disabled parking space?" And the guy says, "Oh, well, I'm handicapped." And I said, "Well, no, you're not." And I said, "And it's really inappropriate for you to be mocking people with disabilities and taking a space that it was not reserved for you." Now, mind you, I had been part of the effort in our state to get disabled parking legislation passed, so I was feeling a little protective about disabled parking in the first place. But I also really found it offensive that this guy was sort of gimping it up and having fun with it. And so I said, "Well, I'd really like to ask you to move your car because you shouldn't be parked there." And they said, "Well, who's going to make me?" And I said, "Well, the police. It's against the law, and I'll just call the police." The man's wife gets right in my face and says, "Who do you think you are talking to my husband like that?" And she hauls back her hand. She's going to hit me. I took my daughter and pulled her behind me very quickly, and my daughter is frightened. She's starting to cry, and I said, "It's okay, honey." And I stood up and I said, "Go ahead, just go ahead." Well, then the husband comes along, and he grabs her arm and says, "Hey, don't hit her, it's not worth it if she wants to be a baby about this." And so I thought, okay, talking's done. So I took my daughter, pulled her up on my hip, walked into the store, and picked up the telephone, whereupon the people moved the car. That's the closest to physical confrontation that I've ever had, but it was stunning that these people were so energized over the issue.
The It's Our Story project is a national effort to make disability history public and accessible. Visit us at www.itsourstory.org or on the It's Our Story project YouTube channel.